Let's 3D track the shot. For the sake of time, we're going to speed through this process. Our shot has a nice steady camera move and a lot of detail in the scene. It should work pretty well using After Effects' built-in camera tracker. Starting with the Denoised plate, let's make a fresh pre-comp and name it Pre-Track. I've found that the camera tracker plugin works best if you convert the footage from linear ACES CG to sRGB first. This will only apply if you're working in linear ACES CG like we are. Once we've done that color adjustment, we'll pre-comp it again to make sure that the camera tracker effect will acknowledge it. We'll plop the camera tracker effect on there and let it simmer. We can increase the size of the markers if they're too small to see. Now we can go through and hunt down erroneous trackers. You can click and drag around multiple markers at once and hit delete on the keyboard to get rid of them. It's a red flag if you see some markers that are uncharacteristically giant. Especially watch out for markers that are on moving objects. It doesn't take very many wacky markers to really mess up your track. Under the Advanced tab, we can see the average error as a rough gauge on how good our track is. The lower the better. And it looks like we're actually at a good spot already. As we clean up the markers, you'll see the number update. Once we're happy, let's set the origin to a nice spot in the center of the scene, close to all the areas we'll be working with. Note that I'm selecting as many markers as I can that are on a flat surface in the scene. This will help give us a good ground plane and origin. Once the ground plane is set, we'll create some nulls and the camera. Let's place a solid where the ground plane is. Now I'll create a couple more solids to help with the placement of the monitors. Again, just using the markers that we want that are on the correct plane. I'm going to throw a checkerboard on each of these solids. They're super handy for reviewing the track. At some point during this, I like to jump into the top view and just double check that the solids that we're placing are lining up nicely with all those nulls in 3D space. When we play back our track, we want to make sure there's no jittery motion or small bumps. Now I'm going through one last time to grab any markers that I think might have a position in 3D space that'll be useful when we're compositing other elements. Be cautious with generating too many nulls in your scene. It can quickly bog down the user interface. You might only need nulls in a few key locations. If you find yourself in a scenario where you're having to scale the nulls by 10,000% to see them, then you might need to scale the entire scene to be more workable. You can do this by creating a 3D null, parenting all of the 3D objects in the scene, including your camera, to the null, and then scaling that null. If you delete that null, you will then see the new scale values on all the objects. It may take some playing around to find the best scene scale. Note that once you've altered the overall scene scale, it will make it difficult to generate new nulls again from your original camera tracker. I like to use CC PowerPin to corner pin the checkerboard onto the monitors. It's handy to have its viewport guides and also its expansion controls. Once that's done, we'll make sure that the corners stay put throughout the entire shot. I like to put a keyframe at the start and one at the end just to be safe and make any small tweaks if needed. We'll do the same for the right monitor and then view our handiwork, carefully checking that the track is locked on throughout the entire frame range.